Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his wife cheated on him with her ex when she went to plan his wedding. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I34 Male and my wife 29 have been married for 6 years. We were peaceful and happy. Life was good. She was a wedding planner, always traveling out of the state to plan weddings thanks to the multiple recommendations she got regularly. Last November, she traveled out for 3 weeks to plan a wedding. Then I didn't know it was her ex's and returned with an attitude. We used to be that couple who never hid anything from each other. We knew each other's device passwords and could access them at will. The night she returned, she had a big smile on her face. She told me the wedding was unlike anyone she had planned and that she enjoyed every minute there. We arrived home, and while she was in the bathroom, I took her phone to view pictures, knowing she must have taken 1,000,000 of them, because she loved to save memories. Then I realized she had changed her password. Astounded, I asked her why. She told me she reflected on a lot of things and decided she needed to have some privacy. I didn't know she felt that way. I apologized. That night passed, and we both resumed our busy lives. So, on the 5th of January, I got off work early. I was less busy, so I took to going through my CCTV. We had one on our porch overlooking the street, footage, as I usually did once every 3 months. I saw a recent video of my wife and her ex on our porch. They seemed to be arguing, and a couple of minutes later, he left. So many thoughts were running through my head, but I calmly waited for her to come and clarify me. How did he get our house address? Why did they argue? Why did she not tell me about his visit? I waited for 2 weeks. Engaged her in discussions, carefully probing her to tell me something I didn't know, hoping she would tell me about her ex's visit, but she never did. My suspicion was growing, and the only way to get my answer was to check her photos. She always kept pictorial memories. I tried logging into her Gmail, and it worked. I checked her Google Photos and found some time-stamped pictures of both of them in bed with the duvet draped over them. Her bare shoulder told me she was naked underneath. Several other pictures of them told me she slept with him multiple times. She had planned his wedding while sleeping with him. I showed her the photos, and the first thing she said was, "I wouldn't have returned to him if you were half the man." My jaw dropped from shock. Although I knew she was lying, it still bruised my ego. I was hurting so badly. I might have shed a tear or two that night. I told her I would divorce her, and she told me she would be glad if I did, because then she could get him to divorce his wife and marry her. My wife of 6 years said that to me, and I can't do anything. I'm still thinking hard about divorce. That seems to be the only way out. I'm so sad and confused. Update. I filed for divorce and ordered her to move out. I couldn't bear seeing that treacherous face a second longer. I heard she moved to be close to her ex, probably to be his mistress and ruin his marriage too. When we were married, she told me that her ex's mother despised her. So I reached out to the woman on Facebook and sent her the time and date stamped pictures of her son with my ex-wife, taken while they were supposed to be wedding planning. Last week, my ex-wife called, swearing at me for snitching on her. She yelled at me for messing up her non-existent relationship with her soon-to-be mother-in-law. The woman had dug her claws into her skin and was making life unbearable for her. She ordered me to fix the situation. After she was done talking, I told her to have a nice day, and then I hung up, blocked her line, and sent more pictures to her ex's mother to aggravate her. From what I heard, she's my ex's doom, and for the first time since I heard about her, I'm glad she exists. I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. I can't start to imagine how hurt and betrayed you must have felt when you found out about your ex-wife's infidelity. I'm glad you were brave enough to divorce her. There was no way you could have tried to save the marriage when all she wanted to do was be with her ex. Your ex-wife sucks, and so does her ex. He cheated on his fiancée with their wedding planner. How your ex-wife believes this guy's worth ruining her marriage is beyond me. I wish you well, OP. Put all of this behind you and take good care of yourself. Remember, the best revenge you can have on her is living a great life without her. Story 2. Backstory. Sorry, I have to. My wife, 38, and I, 40, met 20 years ago, and I knew right away she was the one. She was dating a friend of mine, but they were not very serious. He told me he was planning on dumping her, so I moved in for the save and told her about his plans. She got angry with me, which I expected, and told me I was lying. Long story short, we married a year later. Fast forward to 9 years later, we've now had our second child, and I'm working very long hours to make all the bills, 80+ hours a week. Fast forward one more time to yesterday. She called me into the kitchen and tells me that she had an affair 10 years ago, and the guilt had been eating her alive. It was with a guy that I met once briefly, a not unlikable guy. She had invited him to a barbecue with some of our other friends in our backyard. My response was almost disbelief. I couldn't speak even when she told me that she would answer any questions I had. I got up and walked outside and have been beating myself up over the anger I feel. She swears she loves me and doesn't want this to end our relationship. I feel duped, and like this past 10 years have been a lie. Why didn't I see it? How could she do this much to keep it from me for so long? Why do I feel guilty? How can I go on living with her if I don't know that I can trust her? Please help me clear my mind. I need clarity, which I'm not capable of right now. Update. I plan on talking to her after I've had some sleep. And I thank you all for the perspective. It's 6 a.m. here, and I've been up all night. I need to rest. Update 2. I have, after a long 5-hour talk, packed a couple bags and gone to a hotel. The reasoning I have for this is that she's had 10 years of time to think about this and make her decisions, where I've had 1 day. I respect all the advice I've read and think if I do go forward, it will be rough. Haven't decided either way. I don't believe the whole "it's been 10 years, just get over it" argument is a good one. 10 minutes or 10 years doesn't change the level of betrayal. We've decided to seek counseling, but I feel like the work that we'll have to put in will almost be worse than hearing about the act. She told me it was an ongoing relationship for 3 months and he had come to our house while my children were there, which hurt a lot. She also admitted to having an emotional relationship with a woman. Swore on a stack of Bibles and our kids' lives that it was not sexual. And I'm not sure if that's worse, but it hurt me more, as she told me that the relationship with the man was purely physical. I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. Your last update makes me wonder if trying to fix your marriage is worth it at all. Your wife cheated on you with a guy for months. She brought him into your home to see the kids, so she basically played house with him in your home. Then she had another emotional affair with a woman. What else is there that she's not telling you? Let's not forget that she kept her affair a secret from you for 10 years. You could try to salvage it. You did say your marriage was a good one over the past few years. Go to therapy and marriage counseling. I hope here your wife finds out why she's cheating on you. And from there she can change and fix the root of the problem. But you have to get ready to put in a lot of work. If you can't do that, you should divorce her. Now for some comments. Same thing happened to me. And after a year of trying, I found that she had really broken my trust beyond repair. I was suspicious all the time, which put a strain on the relationship. For me, it was 3 years in the past, and then I found out about year 4. And if I learned anything from that, it's this. If the trust is gone, the relationship cannot last. Everyone makes mistakes. Your wife was ashamed of hers and she was afraid that it would hurt you, so she kept it a secret. Imagine that you just cheated on your wife and are embarrassed and ashamed to think that she'll leave you if she finds out. How natural the reaction to hide your fear and shame forever is. Keep in mind that you're not married to her 10 years ago. You're married to her now. And your marriage now is different from your marriage then. This feels fresh to you, but this is old to her. She isn't that person anymore. She was that person 10 years ago. My only advice is to judge who she is and your relationship based on what they are now and not what they were then. It's okay to be hurt by this, and it's okay to need time to come to terms with it. But don't throw away something good because it once had a bad spot and you only just found out about it. You need some therapy and counseling. Professional help to help you deal with the pain you're feeling. You want to clear your mind, go take a break. Go walk and don't see her for a while. I don't mean move out or divorce. I just mean go sleep somewhere else for a few days, a hotel or something. Don't make any decisions or plans, but seeing her's going to hurt and you need to let the shock wear off a bit before you can really do something. I would consider therapy if this is going to eat you up inside. Not sure of your emotional intelligence, so it may require real help to get you over this. Should you? I don't think you have enough info yet. Was it really only once? Why did it happen? What other things has she done? Also, during your break, think about your ability to forgive her. Can you let it go? What will it take to let it go? You have a pretty good stable thing going, so while I do think you should try to make this work, you want an immediate fix or plan of action, and a break is all I can suggest at this time. Story 3. My I40 Male wife, 49 of 30 years, was a stay-at-home mom. We became empty nesters several years ago. Last fall, she took a job working for someone who was a friend of ours. During the time she worked for him, she assured me he was gay. She would go out to his home after hours with my knowledge to help him with his computer or similar stuff. I missed her, I wanted her home, but it made her happy and I felt it was innocent, since he was gay. Turns out he isn't gay. I caught her having sex with him February 7th. Over the next week, she continued to contact him secretly while she said she was trying to work things out with me. I finally said I needed to see her Facebook, phone, etc. to see what had really been going on. Looking at her Facebook, I found out she had a number of single female friends whom she had been messaging about him and about me, and that she had been telling them awful lies about me for the last couple of years, mirroring the negative things they were saying about the men in their lives. She claimed she said those things to fit in, to be liked. She had done similar things a few other times in our marriage. Each time, she had gotten together with a group of women who were upset with their partners and said terrible, untrue, or extremely exaggerated things about me. Each time, she's promised she would not do that to me again. Looking at her Facebook and text messages, I also found she was coaching the man she was having an affair with to do the things she liked in bed. I guess that makes sense, but it's a hard pill to swallow. I love her, I'm committed to her, but I have to have loyalty, fidelity, and partnership. I'm 50. This is the only life I have. I can't wait another 10 years to see if she'll be true to me. I don't feel I can talk to family or friends about this because it will permanently taint her in their eyes. No one has any idea what's really going on. I'm coming to Reddit mostly to help me think through the process. She's away for the weekend at one of our son's houses, so I have a couple days to think. Here are questions I have. Am I being naive to think she'll be loyal and faithful now when she hasn't been in the past? How do I determine the best path for my own life going forward? Now for some comments. Man, after 30 years, I think you need to be seeing a therapist psychologist that specializes in marriage at this point. If I was in your shoes, that's what I would do, and not listen to the armchair psychologists here in this sub. Best of luck, and sorry to hear this happened. Well, OP, I think you should reach out to someone. Not internet people, someone close to the situation who knows your relationship. Be it her family or yours. We give advice on infidelity a lot here, but a 30-year marriage is just too big for us to decide if it's worth breaking off or not. They can tell you better than we can her odds of changing or if this is worth saving. Possibly couples therapy if you're really fixed on having an outside opinion. This is a pattern of behavior for her, not a one-time thing. With that said, if you're comfortable in your life and can live happily pretending to not know, then just leave the whole thing alone. Let her do it. Don't check on her and don't discuss it anymore. Always wear condoms when you have sex with her and get tested for STIs regularly. What I just said is terrible advice, but it's the only way you can continue your relationship with her and keep the life you currently have. Because she is a cheater and cannot be trusted. If you cannot live by my above, admittedly terrible suggestion, then you have to leave her. That's the only way to be happy. I'm so sorry.